everyone. Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, depending where you are. I am very pleased to have you back. The topic that we'll be discussing today is large language models and its applications in accounting. But before we dive into it, would you mind telling us a little more about yourself?
Hi, Emily. It's good to see you again. My name is Ayo Fashina. I'm the CFO of Kobo 360. It's an e-logistics company, startup. It's about 6 years old now, and it matches goods owners to transporters. And the company operates in 7 African countries.
Got it. That's Thank you so much, Ayo, for the introduction. So today we'll be talking about large language models, and it's a vast topic in itself. But let's actually start with the basics. So, Ayo, can you explain what large language models or LLMs are and how they are relevant to the field of accounting?
Thank you, Emily. In in short, large language model LLM is a type of artificial intelligence program that can recognize and generate texts, among other tasks. Now, LLMs are trained on huge data sets, hence the name large. And they are built on machine learning, specifically a type of a neural network called the transformer model. And what they do is they analyze a large data set, use it to learn and to train themselves as to what they should look for in when they're queried. And then they use that to actually build a model and get better at what they do. So that's essentially large language model. And the application to accounting is, as we all know, accounting is about data analysis and data collections, matching, and the likes. So it's very relevant to accounting and finance.
Got it. So, Ayo, how do LLMs differ from the traditional methods of data analysis and processing in accounting?
So the traditional methods of data analysis and processing is human-based. So you have accounting staff or finance analysts, accounting analysts, clerks that do all the data entry, they do all the analysis, whether you're trying to add, subtract, multiply, or divide, which is largely what you do in accounting and finance. You use human to actually do that. They may use Excel to help in the analysis, but it's largely human input. So one the most significant benefits of LLM, as opposed to the manual way of doing things in accounting, is it substantially increases the efficiency of what you do in accounting and finance, because these models can process large volumes of data at an unprecedented speed. Essentially, they drastically reduce the time that accountants spend on routine tasks, such as data entry, transaction categorization, and report generation. So what LLM does is it just makes the life of an accountant easier and more efficient.
Understood. So, are you diving into the applications of LLM in accounting? What are some of the specific applications of LLMs that you've come across or implemented in the accounting processes?
So one application that I've recently come across is something that a company is developing, and it's LLM is being used to process accounts payables. And what LLM is being used is it's fed a lot of data of invoices, purchase orders, and delivery notes. And that's used to train the LLM model to understand what to look for in those kind of documents. And by training and understanding what to look for in those kind of documents, it can now match those purchase orders to invoices and to delivery notes in order to actually process accounts payables on behalf of accountants. The model is also able to process the GL entry, which is the general ledger entry, which the accountant will do once you do a process. And it's been able to process those entries into the general ledger of the company. Now, this model was able to read both typed and written documents, which is unprecedented, because ordinarily Computer models are more able to read typed documents because it's well structured.
Yep.
Handwriting are different for different people. So for you to
Mhm.
get to the level of being able to read handwriting, that means you have to have a lot of data and a lot of models that's trained into this model in order to understand how to read it.
Mhm.
So that's what I've come across recently.
That's pretty interesting. So, Ayo, how do LLMs contribute to, improving efficiency, accuracy, and decision making in accounting tasks?
Thank you. Similar to what I was saying, LLM can process a lot of data very quickly. So LLM can achieve a high level of accuracy in processing financial data, thereby minimizing human errors.
Mhm.
Now, they ensure that there's consistency in handling transactions and applying the same rules and criteria largely uniformly across all the data points, which is crucial in accounting because ultimately what we're doing in accounting is making sure that things are done the right way and repeated. So repeatability and reproducibility is very important in accounting. And that's what makes people trust the output from the accounting department and the finance department. So by automating these routine tasks, LLMs can significantly reduce the labor cost, essentially. And then this automation allows the firms to now allocate human resources to more strategic and high level tasks. So enhancing the overall productivity of the firm. Now, with the ability to analyze a vast data set, LLMs provide valuable insights that aid in financial forecasting and decision making as well. So they can identify trends, they can identify patterns that might be overlooked by human analysts. So those are some of the ways the LLM models have been able to improve accounting and finance.
Got it. So, I we just discussed the applications of LLM, right? Let's now dive into challenges and opportunities. So, when it comes to challenges, what challenges do finance professionals face when implementing LLMs in accounting processes, and how can these challenges be addressed?
Okay, so despite the advanced capabilities that I've been talking about, LLMs lack human judgment. So that's the high level task I was referring to before, and the ability to interpret complex and ambiguous financial situations. If something is straightforward, it's easy for a computer to do. But when it's ambiguous and complex, then they may be challenged. So they operate based on the data and parameters that's been provided to the LLM without understanding the nuances of certain accounting decisions. So therefore, LLMs should be applied to accounting problems where human judgment is not a high priority and the analysis is largely empirical. So LLMs are only as good as the data that are fed into them to train their model. So inaccurate and incomplete data can lead to erroneous outputs. So those are things that people need to watch out for. So it's imperative to have a robust data validation process, one that ensures that the quality of the data that's being used to develop and train the LLM model is accurate and complete. And that's how you help the LLM uh, be able to provide better outputs than it would have ordinarily been able to.
Got it. And Ayu, what opportunities do LLMs present for innovation and advancement in the field of accounting?
Just like I've been talking about, LLMs hold a very great promise in revolutionizing accounting and the finance sector by automating all those routine tasks. Because a lot of tasks in accounting, when you think about it, are routine.
Mm-hmm.
And the way I look at it is a computer should be able to do that and leave the higher order thinking to humans. And that will get us more efficient. So it's enhancing efficiency and providing valuable insights, which it can develop from the trends and analysis, and then present that to human, and then human can take that and then use it for something more strategic. So that's how I think LLMs can be more innovative in accounting and finance.
Got it. So, Ayu, let's now delve into data security and privacy. So, with the increasing use of LLMs in accounting, how do you ensure the security and privacy of the sensitive, financial data that is shared?
That's always the issue. So the use of LLMs in accounting raises, as you said, significant data privacy and security issues. Now, ensuring the confidentiality and security of financial data is paramount, I would think. And the reliance on the AI systems introduces a new challenge into data protection.
Yeah.
So what I think is important is data hygiene. It's very essential to ensuring that the integrity and the privacy of the LLM training data is upheld. And what I mean by data hygiene is that you make sure that the data that you're using to train your model has been sanitized of any personal identifiable information or any other information that you don't want to be out there in the public domain.
Got
So
it.
organizations should implement stringent data cleaning and sanitation process and procedures to remove sensitive information and identify potential biases and errors that may be in the data that's being used to train the LLM.
Got it. And Ayo, what measures should organizations take to mitigate risks associated with data breaches or unauthorized access when implementing LLM driven solutions?
I think to mitigate the risks that's associated with this LLM training data, organizations must adopt a comprehensive approach to data protection. So what they should do is the approach should encompass data hygiene, like I was mentioning before, the policy enforcement, access controls, and continuous monitoring of what's going on with that LLM. And then policy enforcement is crucial for establishing clear guidelines for the handling of LLM training data. Then these policies should also outline acceptable data sources and permissible data types that could be inputted into the LLM, and restrictions on data access and usage must be implemented across the company. So access controls should be implemented to restrict access to LLM training data to just those authorized personnel and identities. Now, including third-party apps that may be connecting into the LLM. So they should run their access control across not just the LLM and other things that you're connecting the LLMs to. Now, this can be achieved through role-based access control. They have multi-factor authentication mechanisms and different things that could be adopted in order to make sure you achieve this goal of access control.
Got it. So you spoke about third-party apps and the LLMs connecting to it. So how important is it for LLM-driven accounting solutions to integrate seamlessly with existing financial systems and workflow?
It's very, very important because if your LLM is standalone and it cannot integrate to other accounting systems and platforms, then it defeats the whole purpose of having LLM in the first place. You erode the potential gains that you have. So LLM-driven accounting solutions should integrate seamlessly with existing financial systems that you have at the company. Now, this enables the full realization of those benefits that LLM brings. Now, without the full integration, like I was talking about, the efficiency gains from those adoptions of LLM solutions are largely eroded by having to manually transfer the output of the LLM into their platform. Now you have the human factor again. There's delaying and introducing error into the process. So the most efficient way for those kind of models to work is for them to be plugged directly into the company's ERP or other systems that they use for the accounting and management processes.
Got it. Got it. And Ayo, what strategies do you recommend for ensuring smooth integration and compatibility with other accounting and enterprise systems like maybe ERP?
So the key is testing the compatibility ahead of full implementation of the LLM and ensuring that the provider of the LLM driven solution provides a seamless connection to your existing systems and workflows. So you have to have like a sandbox test or run before you do full implementation to check and make sure that their LLM solution plugs seamlessly with your own systems. Because the developer of the LLM may have tested it with some other systems, but yours may have specific additions or subtractions. They may create problems for the LLM connection, seamless connection. So you need to test that in a safe environment first before you go into full production.
Got it. Got it. So, lastly, Ayo, touching a little bit upon the regulatory compliance, what steps should organizations take to ensure compliance with relevant regulations while leveraging LLMs in accounting operations?
So the thing about regulations is it's dynamic. It is always changing. So that creates a challenge to LLMs. What that means is that there need to be a constant update on the LLM to stay compliant. And this requires ongoing monitoring and adjustments, which can be resource intensive sometimes, but it's something you have to do. Because whatever the LLM is doing now today, regulations may change, and they need to make sure there's a way to update the LLM to keep up with the regulations.
Got it. So, Ayo, we just spoke about, the future of LLMs in finance and accounting previously. Are there any emerging trends or advancements that you believe will shape this landscape further?
So I think LLMs have the potential to revolutionize the finance sector in numerous other ways. So AI-powered tools can analyze vast amount of data, like I was talking about before, to uncover hidden patterns and trends that would have been impossible with previous technologies. Now, this enables finance professionals to make better informed decisions and develop a more effective strategies around those outputs that they're getting from the LLMs. Now, for instance, LLM can be used for risk assessment and management. They can help organizations identify risks and make informed decisions by mitigating them. Now, LLMs can also play a crucial role in fraud detection and prevention. Now, the way the LLMs can do that is by analyzing data and identifying anomalies in those data. Because now the LLM has been trained a certain way. So when they input the data in there, it can flag anomalies and suspicious transactions. Now, this is already being used, but it will be more prevalent as time goes on. Now, AI-powered systems can alert financial experts to potential fraud by flagging those variations and suspicious transactions and allowing them to take swift action to protect the organization's assets. Now, LLM can be the backbone, I think, of the next generation forensic accounting. Because right now you have some people that are specialists in forensic accounting. But if you train LLMs to a level, it could be your forensic accountant that's continuously running. So you don't have to contract for forensic accountants to come and review the financial analysis or the financial statements of a company. You could just have an LLM model running in the background to check anomalies and flag them. Now, I think LLM could also be used for audits. It could simplify the audit process. So the financial audits, annual audits that companies go through, it could be simplified using LLMs because it can now organize data in such a way where the auditors can easily trace and track transactions in order to audit them a lot quicker.
Got it. Got it. So, just to wrap things up, based on your experience and insights, do you have any additional advice or maybe recommendation for finance professionals looking to harness the power of LLMs in accounting practices?
The advice that I have for financial professionals is that they need to look into Python as a way to upskill themselves. Now, Python is a versatile programming language, which a lot of LLMs are based on. This language can easily integrate with tools and platforms in finance and accounting. Now, finance professionals don't necessarily need to be an expert programmer to use Python effectively. And by learning these fundamentals of Python and having the ability to read and follow its logic, everyday professionals can now leverage LLMs for code generation and task automation that would have historically required like a proper skilled programmer to do. Now, this collaboration between professionals and LLM will now lead to efficient, accurate results while maintaining control over the output and customization of the LLM that's being used. So as LLM becomes more prevalent, I think the demand for Python skills will grow, making it a valuable skill for a business or finance or accounting professional to have. So that's part of the reason why myself, I went to do that data analysis training, which is largely Python introduction and using Python for different models, including an LLM. So I think it's something that's good for an accounting professional that wants to be on the cutting edge to learn and to be ready for the future of accounting and finance.
Got it. Got it. That's great advice, Ayo. So thank you so much for sharing your expertise on the applications of large language models in accounting, and thanks a lot for being here. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we conclude our discussion, Ayo?
So just in summary, LLMs hold great promise to revolutionize the accounting and finance sector by automating all those routine tasks that we really would rather not do now. And it enhances efficiency and provide valuable insights. However, it is crucial to be aware of the limitations that we discussed. Some of those we discussed today, and needing human judgment is something they can't completely do away with. Artificial intelligence, yes, is great. In movies, they show that they take over and try and imprison human, but at the end of the day, that judgment is not something you can train completely to a computer. So that's important. And that still has to be in the function, even when you're using LLMs. And also data security concerns are something that people need to keep at the back of their mind and in front of their mind, even to make sure that those are properly managed. And then the regulatory challenges that we discussed also are something that LLM developers should keep at the back of their minds, because regulations change and you need to keep on updating the LLM to keep up with the times, if you would. So that's what I would say.
Got it. Got it. Thank you so much, Ayo, for being here and elaborating on this particular topic. It was really great having you, and the discussion was truly fruitful. So thank you.
Always a pleasure. Thank you, Emily.
Thank you.